preparing to go live.
I believe this is us.
Setting up, you're done, redirecting to YouTube, and here we go. Voila. We're now live, I think. Yep, that's us. We're now live. We're now live. So we're live on YouTube. I'm just going to refresh my shit and we have one person watching. Yay.
That was fast. It's not even me.
I think maybe me, actually. Could be me. One viewer so far already. Yes. So
It's yourself. Oh,
I think it's I don't know if it's me, actually. I'm not sure. I'll wait till we've got a few people.
there we go. Yeah.
2 seconds. Kirsty. Yeah. My dad's trying to phone me. Could you tell him I'm live right now? Kirsty, tell him I'm like phone him there quickly because he's going to keep phoning back to me. And I'm live on YouTube and my dad tries to phone me. Go figure. So tonight's episode's sponsored by Asda Sparkly Apple and Raspberry Flavoured Water. Oh,
As always.
As always.
Faithful.
The Rockstar. See, talking about Rockstar, I wish they'd hurry up and like release Grand Theft Auto 6. They know we want it, and I think they're just, it's like participation. Like, I think the latest rumor was it's getting released in 2024, 2025. I'm just like, oh, come on.
That'll be like a full
11 years. 11 years.
11 years after.
11, 12 years.
I'm sure it was 2014 it came out.
2013 was GTA 5.
Jesus.
Yeah. Literally.
GTA 5 still one of them games that I'll always go back to. It's like Halo. Like, just can't get bored of it.
I love it. I love GTA. Like, I really love GTA. I think they're brilliant. I'm just going to send a link to like everyone. Get some viewers.
Just absolute spam them.
Literally, yeah, just spam them. Aye, so I saw. Are you a fan of Power Rangers, Matty?
Aye.
Have you seen much? Have you seen much of the newer ones? No.
Not really, but like, I think when I fell away from Power Rangers, it was Dino Thunder. That was the last one I watched the full way through, and then after that, I've kept up with it, but I've not really like stayed in depth with it. But I've seen some of the stuff that's coming out recently, which looks kind of cool.
Aye, so right now I think it's Dino Fury. It's coming up next, and they're saying the Lord Zed is back in it. Yes. I'm just like that. I'd actually go and watch that. So it's not a fan of it.
Power Rangers is a kids show, but at the same time, there's a lot of like comic lore. It's like Star Wars. There's hundreds of comic lore about it as well.
Oh, definitely.
There's some pure messed up stuff in it, especially about Lord Zed, like how he try to become a Power Ranger and the crystals basically turned him inside out or something. Like,
it's gruesome.
That's a rough overview of it, but
like it's gruesome. That's gruesome. But it's one of those kind of things where you're just like, it's funny because obviously last time we see Lord Zed, he get turned into a normal guy. So it's like, so now we see him in this new Dino Fury, and it's like somehow Lord Zed returns. Just like Palpatine, somehow Palpatine lives. Right, we've got no viewers so far, but I'm going to start anyway. So it's all right, Jupiter's here.
Jupiter's here.
Hey guys, welcome back to That Thing Guy. We are live. I am with Matty Monsta over at Who Cares Nerds. So tonight we're just going to talk about random chat. So, like for example, right there we spoke about Lord Zed because why the fuck not? So we're just going to chat about anything you want to talk about. So, Mai, what do you want to talk about?
Aye.
What do you want to talk about, Mai?
What we're going to talk about? Stuff.
Stuff. Yes.
I mean, there's not really been much that's happened this week other than, the last episode of Bad Batch, which you guys are covering, so I don't really want to milk that one.
No, we can talk about it briefly. It's cool. The Bad Batch finale obviously was I wasn't a massive fan of it.
It wasn't as climactic as I thought it was going to be, but it was an alright ending. And then we got the great news that season 2 is happening as well.
I know,
which was a wee bit better.
But I mentioned that in our review, like the fact that and the review, I'm actually editing it, so it's coming up tomorrow. It's funny because I said in the review that, and Dan and Steve agreed with me. I wish they hadn't announced season 2 until after the end.
Aye,
because you're watching the finale, being like, "Oh, they're not going to die. nothing's going to happen." It was like it's like in.
That's the thing. Like, what didn't they get? When did it get announced that there were going to be a season 2? It was like just before, just before last week's episode.
Yeah. So, at the end of episode 15, they're dead, and you're just like, no, they're not.
Because it's the same, like, see with Mando, like the way they did it with Mando, where at the very end of it, they hadn't announced that they're doing a season 3. There probably was going to be one because we all knew it's Mando, it's a fucking money cow, but at the very end of it, and then you just see Book of Boba Fett coming out, and you're like, holy shit, well, this wasn't even announced. Like, what the fuck? It could appear just turned the tables on us that way. Like, it would have been amazing. But like, at least they didn't announce like, oh, by the way, we've got 3 seasons already in the works from the very beginning or anything like that. Like,
yeah. I agree there.
But it would have made more sense if they'd held off for at least a week, like, so they could announce it. But
I'd have just waited until like the end of the episode and then be like, coming soon. The Bad Batch will return. You're just like, oh shit.
Bad Batch 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Bad Batch 2, I like it. So talking about like Star Wars and stuff like that. So obviously we got last week. We got an announcement from Disney that they're doing a Disney Plus Day in November. So obviously, usually we get like the Disney Investors Day in December, not just when they reveal everything. They give us everything apart from the kitchen sink of what's coming in soon, like Disney, DC, Disney, Marvel, and like Disney in general and Star Wars. But they're now doing like a Disney Plus Day in November, so a month. I think it's roughly about a month after DC fandom.
Okay.
Because DC again are doing their re-fandom thing of like, we're not going to Comic-Con, fuck that, we'll just do it ourselves, we'll do an in-house thing. Which I understand, like I get that, but it kind of takes the excitement away from Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Because we done a breakdown of Comic-Con and it was boring. Like nothing happened.
We were talking about this in work as well. Like I was talking to like some of the girls and working about it, and like it kind of feels like because DC's realised they can make a bit of money if they go off and do it by themselves. Like
basically.
Like when we get back to normal after everybody's vaccinated and everybody can go out and herd immunity and all this crap's done with, like, is there going to be much of a Comic-Con left to go to? Like,
I know.
Because it's all over the place. Like Marvel's got their thing, like DC's got theirs, look, there's still like all the independent comics are still got to like, and that's great. But like, it's the big names you go for sometimes as well.
Yeah. But here's the question though, like, so obviously because DC have their DC fandom, their virtual, fandom. I wonder if DC, like one of Warner Bros. And DC, will pull their rug from under us and have like a actual convention where you can go to it, so rather than a virtual convention. Pardon me, that'd be pretty cool. Like that's where they need to go next. So say next year, everything's back to normal. You can go to Comic-Con, you can go to conventions. Can you imagine if DC had their own like walk-in convention? Oh, that's dangerous. That is dangerous. It'd be cheeky, but it'd be brilliant at the same time. And then even as well, like Disney Plus Day or the Investors Day, have like an investors convention where like everyone could just go and just like, it'd be amazing. Can you imagine it? It'd be interesting to see though. But no, so we've got the Disney Plus Day, so essentially the Disney Investors Day, where they're planning on announcing new stuff. I have a theory that they're probably going to announce some more, like they're announcing some Star Wars stuff, some Marvel stuff, obviously, like the rest of Phase 4, possibly even Phase 5 of Marvel. But like my biggest, like, I wonder if they'll have like some casting for Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron film.
Ooh.
Because like the last time we heard about that was the Investors Day last year.
That was the big trailer we all seen.
Well, that was the big kind of. It wasn't a trailer.
It was literally
it was so. But you know what the thing is though? It was so perfect. Like that whole time, I was with her the whole time, just like I'm watching her. What's she doing? Where's she going? And then when she puts on the X-wing pilot, I'm like, oh shit! And she put the helmet on. I was like, oh damn! I thought it was so good. So can you imagine if she hits us with a cast or just something? Because obviously we know that nothing's been filmed and nothing's happened yet, but like even a cast or like just something to be like, right, we're ready to go now, like next year. Same with Taika Waititi, like his Star Wars film. He spoke extremely briefly about it, like a few days ago, saying that it's very him. So a part of me is like,
I mean, that doesn't shed a lot of light because like look at the range Taika's got. Look,
I know, but see when he said it's very him, I'm just like, well, look at Thor Ragnarok and thinking, okay, I could enjoy this. Luke's here. Hey, Luke, how you doing, man? You good? So look at Jupiter so far. So yeah, look, we will have a good stream. Thank you. Thanks for he's right now. He's on from Spain right now. He's in Spain.
Ooh, international.
So, lucky bastard. So I hope you enjoy Spain, mate. Thousandth Ghost is here. Hey man, how you doing? Appreciate it. The boys are here now. We're good. We get 3 viewers now. We're happy. That's us. That's all I need. So obviously, guys watching in the live chat, ask us some questions. What do you guys want to talk about? You know, we'll talk about anything. We're just talking a bit briefly about just everyday shit.
While we're waiting for the 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
Like I saw some stuff in the comics. I've not actually been reading comics for about a year now because I like get mine physical rather than digital. Yeah. I seen some developments with Robin. Have you seen this? Tim Drake.
He's now bisexual.
Which
that's fair enough. Like, I mean, finally. It's one of those kind of things, right? You could either look at it as, they're just trying to, keep the PC crowds. They're just trying to be woke. They're just trying to keep the PC crowd happy. But who gives a fuck?
Aye.
Who cares? Like,
exactly.
Who cares? Like, he could be non.
I think I seen it on TikTok first. There was a guy I follow on TikTok. I can't remember his name. It's Panda or something. But he's like really into DC, and he's like.
I think I know who you're talking about. By the way.
Aye. And he always does like wee character things of him pretending to be the heroes and all that, and doing situations and comedy stuff. And he did one on Tim Drake being bi, and it was just like Dick Grayson and Red Hood are just standing there, just like, yeah, we know you're our brother, and we're totally all right with it because we're glad you finally realised before too long.
It could be interesting. Do you know what I saw though? Have you seen that DC are doing a Batman 89 continuation?
Aye.
So they're doing Batman 89 universe continuation in the comic books, Superman 78, but through the Batman 89, they're using like some early script ideas of Tim Burton for Batman Returns, Batman 3. Like we've got Billy D. Williams, his likeness, but he's now Two-Face. Obviously, he was originally meant to be Two-Face in Batman 3.
That was one of the things when I watched, like, because I watched Batman Forever when I was away as my first Batman movie, and I was like, I like it.
Yeah, probably. Then, that's mine as well, actually.
And then I went back to watch Batman 89, then Batman
99 Returns,
and I was like, even at a young age, I was like, that guy was black. What's happening here? Like,
I know.
How did Lando become K from Men in Black? What's going on?
I know, it's mental. It's really interesting.
I was always wondered how come there was never such a big upheaval about that. Like,
there probably was back in the day. Do you know what's funny? Actually, just talking about Batman 89 and Returns. I showed Stephen Dan this last night. So a few years ago, at a charity shop, I got these for £1. The original Batman 89 movie book. And Batman Returns movie book, and they're properly from 1992 and 1989. I'm so proud to have these. I'm so proud to have you for £1 each. I'm like, yes. I mean, I would have paid like £30. I don't care. I paid anything for them. But so if you want them, £30 each. But no, I'm looking for. I've got some questions.
Some questions. Well, we have one question from Thousand Ghost. Thoughts on What If?
So I haven't watched it. I know that it's about Captain Carter. Peggy Carter's now Captain Carter, like Captain America. So I like that idea. I think it's pretty cool. I've seen screenshots of it. I know it's obviously reminiscent of the first Avenger, and they're kind of using scenes and stuff like that. But all I saw was Peggy Carter's costume. I thought, damn, I want to see that in live action. I think the director has said he would love to do that as a live action.
Wait, you see Steve Rogers' costume in it.
Does he get a costume as well?
Oh, aye.
Oh, has he? Oh, that's pretty cool. I saw it.
It's a good watch because, like, I did a review of it on Twitch, guys.
Yeah, you said that.
That's the wee name down there. So
yes, go to.
If you want to see my review of it, but I'm going to be doing like a weekly review. So after each episode comes out, after I've watched it on a Wednesday night, I'm going to do a wee recording, maybe about 5-10 minutes long, usually. Try and get used to talking to a camera rather than just a microphone. But my review is pretty much all positive. Like I couldn't think of anything negative to say, but it was a great start for the show. Like got me interested in the rest of it because What If was one of them ones I was like, same with Loki. Like I was never really, not that I wasn't a Loki fan, but it just wasn't one of the ones that's kind of jumping out at me. Like I'm going to sit and watch this, but then it kind of pulled me in. I was like, okay, I'll come back.
I'm the same. Loki was never a big kind of like, I like, you know what it was? I only like Loki. I only know of Loki through obviously like just the movies, like, you know, Tom Hiddleston. I knew of him, but like, I was more like into Thor as well. Obviously, you can't really say that without having, you know, Loki, but what I mean is like, I liked like Thor individual, like on his own kind of thing. I like that kind of stuff. But even then, like, I was never a massive Thor fan until like the first Thor film. I love that film. That film is so fucking good. The first one, I loved it.
See, I liked it. I didn't really get me into like. No, I didn't like Thor. It was just like
I think he's a smaller kind of like.
I think it's like because I've always loved Captain America even before the comics because I've always kind of seen a bit of me in that because like I'm diabetic and I'm pure font to bits, and I'm just like that guy can do anything. Like I can be like that.
Do you know what? That's why they create comic books. That's why Stan Lee and Jack Kirby done it because they wanted to give people who
relatable.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's funny because like, and here we go. We're going to go into the tragic stages now of that guy. So when I was younger in school, I had no friends. I was basically I was basically the nerd, the geek, the fanny, basically, you know, just a guy who just thought everyone was his pal but had no pals. So I turned to Spider-Man. I turned to Peter Parker and having friends, stuff like that. The X-Men, like basically freaks, basically people who weren't accepted by society. And I also told myself as I wasn't accepted by society. I wasn't accepted by people in school, my friends in school and stuff like that. So I just took to them to be like, I could be like them. Obviously, you know, you're never going to be Spider-Man. You know, don't get me wrong, every time I see a spider, I think, bite me. Just
don't
never.
go to Australia.
Yeah, I've seen the spiders over there. I've got family over there and just said, you don't want to get bit by a spider. So I, like yourself, turned to superhero films, comic books. That's why I'm a massive film fan, because my thing, my paradise, my go-to is movies. So, you know, I just never had, the only thing is I never had people to share that love until like the last, you know, until like when I went to high school. And then even in high school, I never had much friends because I didn't like football. So I was kind of like, you know, fuck off then.
I mean, I was like one of the ones, like, I wasn't exactly like a pure skinny guy or anything. Well, I was skinny, but I like. Oh
no, I was a fat fuck.
We were exact opposites, but we would have got on pretty well. Like,
I know, bastards.
But like, I kind of did a bit of football just to kind of blend in a bit, I guess.
Yeah,
it was never really my thing. Like, I played it, but I wasn't really that good. Like, I never went out my way to play football or anything, but kind of did it just because all my so-called mates were doing it.
Yeah, I understand that.
And then high school was high school for me was kind of a wee bit rough because
Yeah, I'm the
like
same.
that's because of my diabetes. That was one of the worst controlled times of my life. Like my blood sugars were all over the place, so obviously that kind
So
of affects my health and my mentality and stuff.
while you're mentioning that, what and obviously don't this is going personal now, but what
All
are
right,
you? Are you type one, type two? Like what are you?
type one,
You're
so
type one. So
I'm
you
genetic.
you are like the hardest
Aye,
one, yeah. Because one of the guys that I work with at Celtic TV, he just been diagnosed with type one, and he's struggling like hell. He's
aye,
40, he's 48, so he's struggling like hell. To
aye.
all of a sudden, like watch what he's eating. Like my dad's type two diabetes, he was diagnosed 20, 15, 20 years ago. Yeah, 15 years ago. 15 years ago, give or take. And he's been all right, but like in over the last 2 years, like he fucking he hit rock bottom, but all of a sudden just poof, like
Aye.
resurgence because he was just literally told like his heart was buggered. It was heart was his lungs were like fluid, all that kind of stuff. So he had to just basically fix himself completely. He'd done it, thankfully, but he was struggling. He comes and goes with diabetes. It's just he's doing a lot better, but it's still there. It's still there. But the good thing about type two is obviously it's a lot more controllable to a point where it could literally be gone. Whereas obviously you're literally
I've got it.
yeah,
My,
it's
I
horrible.
got it. I got it because my dad has it as well. He got it when he was about 18 years old, whereas I got it just before my third birthday. So I've had it my entire life. But
Christ.
it's like I was in the same sort of position as like your dad. Like I hit rock bottom, but that was going through high school and stuff like that. Well, I was going through puberty and everything, so I had everything thrown at me. And
Yeah.
I was told I was one of the worst controlled in Inverclyde, and the doctor point blank told me if you don't sort yourself out, you'll be dead by Christmas, which kind of gave me the kick in the balls that I needed. And like over the years, I had slowly been getting better and better until 5 years ago now, when I started working where I am now. I got the chance to go on one of the Daphne courses, is what they call it. So it's like where you go and learn how to do carb counting, all that stuff. You learn about the wee sensors and stuff that I've done a TikTok on.
Yeah, my the guy that I work with has got the exact same little thing as
Aye.
well.
So that thing reads my blood sugars constantly, and
Yeah, it's as an app on the phone.
aye, like so
Yeah,
it's like you used to the way it used to be is you used to have to carry around a full rucksack of stuff just to kind of monitor yourself, whereas now everything can be on your phone. It means you're not like making up your scene of yourself in public when you're having to sort yourself out.
Yeah.
And I think it's like because I'm in like the stage of life now where I can talk to people about it, that's what's helped. So that's how like on my TikTok I've done a load of things about how to apply one of these and how to take one off
Yeah.
and stuff. And I feel like learning from someone who's going through that sort of stuff could help someone who's just starting to do that. Which is kind of why I want to go on to do like in my life, I want to go on and become a diabetic nurse or someone who works in that sort of field so I can give back a wee bit.
Fair play, man. Fair play. Yeah, that's very brave of you to do that. It's interesting, mate. I mean, that's a really, really yeah, fair play, man. That's really cool. 100th Ghost is saying Marvel heroes are easier to relate to. DC heroes are mostly gods and out of that's an out of reach. That's a good point. I give you that, right? I give you that because yeah, I give you that because like Marvel are just mutants or mutated humans or superhumans or they're just people who are just born on Earth and just basically get bit by a spider, hit by lightning, whatever. Whereas in the DC universe, you come from another planet and you're Superman, etc., and nothing can fuck with you. So that's why. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would say that Superman is probably my favorite superhero now. But back then, you could not relate to him at all. I could relate to like I said, Peter Parker because he was a loner. I could relate to some of the X-Men because they were like, well, the whole of Xavier's school was like all people who felt left out, ashamed and just like so I can relate to all that. Jupiter is saying that's the most hilarious thing I've heard. Literally every character in both Marvel and DC. So, or it means like okay, right, I get it. It means like obviously the whole like Marvel's like basically humans you can relate to, DC are gods basically. But I cannot understand that though. Thousandth Ghost, I really do. Because I understand where you're coming from. Because when you do look at it though, who's Marvel got that came from? Oh well, That's a heavy discussion. We'll talk later about that one. I'm just like, we could probably break this down and be like, actually, well.
I've had this argument so many times on the
internet. I know.
Because like I am a big Marvel fanboy, as you can see, but like also
I'm an everybody.
DC used to come out with like some stuff, and then a couple of years later, Marvel would mysteriously have the same sort of idea, but just recolored in ways. And not that I don't like Marvel, I do. Like Marvel do better things with some of their characters, but there's stuff like Hawkeye and Green Arrow. There's not many, and like Black Cat and Catwoman as well. There's loads of stuff that is really similar, but the writers take it a different direction and try and make it a bit more unique.
Yeah.
And the stuff like Thor obviously wasn't meant to be a hero. The reason Thor came out was because Stan Lee had to think of something that could defeat the Hulk, and the only thing he could think of was a god. So,
well, that's what Jupiter said right there. He's like, Thor, lol. So I was like, yeah, well, fair enough. He has a god. He kind of counts, actually.
Aye.
That's understandable, actually. 1000th Ghost, and I can't wait to grab my Batman 89 issues. I can't wait to. I think it comes out, I think it's September, October they come out. So to see the continuation of Tim Burton's universe on comic book, because obviously we've got like, because I think it was in Batman 89 and it get brought back up again in Batman Returns, the early drafts of Robin, and it's going to be Marlon Wayans as Robin. Which nowadays, nowadays you think, fuck off.
Aye.
But back then he was nobody, so he would have been a black guy. But then again, Tim Burton was going to break the mold by making a black man Robin.
Aye.
That's pretty. Back then, that's ballsy. That's pretty cool.
Could you imagine that though? Like that would be like his like movie debut, would it? No, like him as Robin, and then he goes on to make chicks as well.
Yeah. But then again, that's the thing. So if Marlon Wayans was Robin back in 89, 92, how would his career have went? Would he have still done Scary Movie, Shorty, White Chicks? Or
even better, the guy that was Robin did all those movies. Think of it that way.
Oh yeah, good point.
That would be excellent. Like,
that'd be interesting. So in the Batman 89 comic books, we've got a variation of Marlon Wayans as Robin, which is pretty cool. So Jupiter said that Batman 89 is already out. I need to get that. Then I did not know that. I need to get that. I want to see that. I want to see it happen actually. Same with Superman 78. So Superman 78 is literally like things like the day after the first Superman finished. I tell a lie, because obviously Superman 78 and Superman 2 are meant to be literally days off, weeks after each other. They're meant to be the same kind of like, it's like Halloween 1978 and Halloween 2018. Like they're connected like by the same universe. So I think Superman 78 is kind of like, see that in between Superman and Superman 2 or something anyway. But I would like to see, because it's a Christopher Reeve's likeness. That's cool. His legacy lives on. So I'll get that. I'll buy that. I'll buy that for $1. Although it'll be like fucking 20 quid probably. Because it's a special edition. But I think what they're planning to do, I think it's like 5 issues and I'm going to bring out a big graphic novel at some point. I think they're just kind of testing the water to see what the miniseries goes. But Blue Harvest, looking forward to tomorrow's episode of What If. Yes. Now, I haven't seen, like I said at the very beginning, guys, I haven't seen the first episode of What If. I know it's Captain Carter, etc., and it looks fucking sexy. But tomorrow's episode is, what do you call them? Is T'Challa.
Oh, is it?
Chadwick Boseman's
final
role as in fucking in history.
Already, man.
So T'Challa is, because obviously
I thought they'd have saved that one.
I know. I thought it was going to be like the finale, or even like the opening episodes.
I mean, like I probably wouldn't have used it as the opening one, but like we'll see. Like, who am I to question Kevin Feige's fucking?
So T'Challa in this What If universe is Star-Lord. Actually, that's badass. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So he's the T'Challa Star-Lord.
See, like in the first episode, like you don't see him, but like Owatu, the Watcher, is like the narrator of it all.
Jeffrey
And
Wright.
he goes into detail about what the actual decision is that causes the history to go a different way, go in a different tangent. So I'm trying to figure out how that kind of blends in with this one, if that's going to be
We know what happened. Fucking Loki season finale.
No, I know, but I mean, like, the reason that Captain Carter happened, the reason
Spoilers.
is in the show. I'm not saying what it happened, but it's in the show. Is what it's because she made a decision to do something. So I'm trying to figure out what decision was made that they decided not to go to. Oh, where's he from? Where's Star-Lord from?
Wakanda. Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Earth. I know it's from Earth, but Tallahassee.
It's just fucking
somewhere. American Town,
Texas.
But like, what stopped them from picking Peter Quill up and then decided Mum will go to Africa and pick this wee guy up instead?
Good point. Oh, so what you're saying is like, so without spoiling it for me, all the what ifs have a reason behind them.
Yes. There's like one decision that's made.
Okay.
Like the first parts of the episodes usually follow the sort of film.
Okay.
Or one of the films to a point, and then at that point, that's where it changes, and then it starts to become its own show.
What if?
Which I've been thinking about it all week, like especially for this one. I've been trying to think like maybe the aliens just have a really shitty sat nav. Like
I'll need to watch this. I'm gonna watch it. What I'll do is I'll maybe even just let tomorrow's episode happen, and then I'll watch the two of them together this weekend at some point. Yeah, because I want to watch it. I really do. I want to see it. I like the idea because we, Steve and Dan, over on our podcast of the Old Republic, on Twitter. On Twitter, we're SW Potor, POTOR. We discussed like a Star Wars what if. Like we were saying, like we've done like a few what ifs and like a few episodes of Earth things. And we were saying, like, I wonder if what if Marvel's what if will be successful enough that they'll maybe say, how about we do something like that with Star Wars?
Is that not what Visions is meant to be?
Well, see,
I've heard this, but I don't know if it's an actual thing.
We then said, like, is Visions like that? But I think Visions are just little storylines. Like, say, do you remember the best way to describe, I think, Visions is, do you ever remember the Animatrix?
Aye.
The animated segments of the Matrix, like one was like 3D animation, anime animation, and all that kind of stuff. We think Visions is like that. They're just taking little stories, little scenarios, and just putting Star Wars characters. Yeah, I think that's something like that. So I don't know if Visions is essentially what if, but it does take some characters and put them in different situations. But I'd love to see like an actual Star Wars what if. Be quite cool to see what they could do. But then again, that's going with. I mean, I'm saying that's going with like if Marvel's what if successful, but it will be successful as Marvel.
Aye.
But then as well, like, does DC then jump in the bandwagon and be like, "Fuck it, we'll make DC what if"? Just why not? Just why not? Because again, essentially, what if is the multiverse. Because like you've got like variations of Captain America, so that's a kind of what if. Like, what if John Krasinski was Captain America? What if? Which I hope not, because I want him as Mr. Fantastic. He's my Mr. Fantastic. I swear to Christ,
he's everybody's
he
Mr.
does
Fantastic.
Not. He is. He's Emily Blunt's Mr. Fantastic. I swear to God, if that man does not get cast as Mr. Fantastic, I'm boycotting Marvel and I'm going to send Kevin Feige a shit in an envelope. And you know what's going to happen now? A random shit in an envelope will get sent to Kevin Feige, and I'll be like, damn it.
Put your name right on it.
Damn it. No, do you know what? I said that in a previous video of mine's. Like, it was my fan cast video for Fantastic Four. I cast like John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic and so on and so forth. Don't get me wrong. Whoever they cast, I'll watch it. I love the Fantastic Four, so I don't care who they want. I mean, don't get me wrong. My two perfect people is John Krasinski, and if not him, John David Washington. See Tenet and Black Klansman boy.
Aye.
I like him. He's a fucking powerhouse of an actor. Like, he's not quite got to where his dad is. Obviously, his dad's Denzel. He's not quite got to like that yet at his age, but he's getting there. He's getting there. He's doing better than Scott Eastwood. Now, I'm not here to slag people, but he's doing a lot better than Scott Eastwood. Like, I thought Scott Eastwood, I mean, see, really, his dad being Clint, I thought he'd be like fucking like a way up there by now, but it's like he's still doing these new roles. You're just like, Scott, just fucking move. Do a cowboy film. Just do something. Just give us Dirty Harry Jr. Just do something. He's just doing. Do you know what's funny though? I actually forgot he was in Suicide Squad 2016.
Oh, aye.
And you watch it and think, why the fuck is Clint Eastwood's son in this film? Like, what is the point of his character? He's fucking there. And then he gets killed. Spoilers. He gets killed off. I'm just like, what was the point of casting Scott Eastwood? They could have cast anyone. Like they could have cast anyone. They could have cast me. I don't give a fuck. But they cast Scott Eastwood, and you're just like, why? Jupiter did say though. Jupiter's just said though, no, John David has to be a Green Lantern.
That would be pretty decent.
Now, are you going to go down the stereotypical side and cast him as John Stewart because he's black, or Guy Gardner, or Hal Jordan himself? Because I'm not a fan of casting him as John Stewart because he's black, so it just fits, the glove fits.
That's one of the problems I had with the actual Green Lantern movie. Like Ryan Reynolds.
I liked Ryan Reynolds as Hal Jordan.
Right? But I didn't really see him as Hal Jordan. I seen him more as Guy Gardner because he's a bit of an arsehole. Like Guy Gardner's an absolute arsehole, but Ryan Reynolds could pull that off a lot better than.
I see where you're coming from,
and I really want to see John Stewart as a Green Lantern as well. Like,
I think John Stewart is meant to be the Green Lantern for the new movie whenever that happens. Because like I grew up with like the Justice League cartoon, that's the Green Lantern I remember. John Stewart's a Green Lantern, yeah.
Which I wasn't one of those ones that was like, why the hell is Green Lantern white when the Green Lantern movie came? No, I was like, I know the characters, I know it's like a whole army, and I know there are different lanterns, and I understand all that.
That's fair enough.
But I was like, why would you not go for John Stewart? Because he's the one everybody that's going to take their wings to see this movie. Everybody knows who that is.
Yeah. Daniel Watson's here. Hey, Daniel, how are you? I'm good, thanks. Blue Harvest Toys is just going and just giving us the names of all the episodes for the What If. Yeah. So, episode 2, obviously we know is T'Challa. Episode 3 is Loki on Earth. Yes, a Loki episode. Episode 4 is Supreme Doctor Strange. Episode
That's the one
5,
with Spider.
Yeah, Spider-Man zombie hunter thing, majiggy. Episode 5 is Party Thor. Episode 6 is Killmonger versus Tony. I've seen a bit of that. That looks pretty cool. Episode 7 is Zombies. Oh,
looking forward
to
that one.
Boy. Episode 8 is Gamora versus Tony. And episode 9 is Infinite Ultron. I love Ultron. I want Ultron back. I'm happy to see Ultron back. I like Ultron.
Everybody kind of gives Ultron a bad rap because he was like one of the ones you pure forget about. But like Ultron,
no, everyone just gives Age of Ultron.
In the comics, Ultron is a fucking badass, and he was a badass in the movie as well. But like, there's no way he's dead. Like there is absolutely no way.
No, like I'm the same. I like Ultron. I think people just give it back. People just don't like Ultron because of the Age of Ultron movie. They just like it's pretty shit. I liked it. It has its issues. Like, boy, does it have its issues. But, like, I mean, as a follow-up, is Joss Whedon's follow-up to his first Avengers movie. Like, yeah, it's night and day. Like, but I think the issue was he started on such a high note with the first film. But see, it came to the second one. Here it came to see because sequels are hard. See, unless you're Empire Strikes Back and Godfather Part 2, and I mean, maybe not. I don't really praise Godfather Part 2 that much. I'm more Godfather, to be honest. But anyway, Spider-Man 2 is one of the greatest sequels of all time. That just works so well, right? It really does. I don't know why, it just works so well. I think the problem with Age of Ultron was Joss Whedon tried to give us his Empire Strikes Back, his sequel. Fuck. And it's so goddamn difficult to do.
Aye.
But it was fine for what it was. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like James Spader's voice as Ultron was fucking...
Oh, it was perfect.
Branson pickle and cheese on a cracker on a Sunday afternoon. His voice is glorious.
I genuinely think the reason that I enjoyed the first Avengers movie when it first came out was obviously big fan of all the movies beforehand, but that was the first Marvel movie that I didn't watch any sort of promotional stuff for it. I seen a couple of posters. That was it. Every time I put,
Did you not?
every time
Ooh.
I made it a pure religion for a full 2 years. Like anytime any sort of trailer came on the telly, anything, I was either leaving the room or I was covering my ears and my eyes. I was like, I don't want to see a thing. I want to go in here with a fresh mind. And honestly, it was one of the most refreshing ways of watching a movie I've had in ages. I reckon, not that I wouldn't have liked it, I don't think I would have enjoyed it nearly as much because there was so much more I was getting surprised about, because obviously trailers kind of do really like show off a lot more than they're meant to nowadays. And some trailers, and I guess that's why some movies put out trailers that are got some footage in it and then some stuff that's not in the movie to kind of throw you off a wee bit. But I feel like they shouldn't have to do that. Like, we should just be like, right, cool, this is happening. I know they have to advertise it and all that, but
well,
it's a good way to doing it. Like, if honestly, if you ever get a chance, just don't you don't need to do it for every movie, but find a movie that you're looking forward to. Try not to watch anything for it and go in with a fresh mindset. And honestly, I feel like you'll enjoy it a lot more.
Well, there's
obviously
thing
in this day and age that is a lot harder than it seems.
Well, there's a thing, right? So I've filmed a video that's coming up in the next few days, and it's discussing the marketing scheme behind Spider-Man No Way Home.
Aye.
So we're now in August.
We're
almost
scheme.
Yeah. Well, we're almost in September, right? So we've got October, November, December. So we'll get 4 months, give or take 4 months, 4.5 months, right? And there's been no poster. All we've got is a title. Who's in it? We think some Pop Funko designs, because obviously, and my discussion in my video, I'm not going to spoil it all, but in a roundabout way, I basically say, like, it's funny how there's been no trailers yet. Is that possibly their way of being like, fuck it, just release some like concept art, Pop Funko designs, action figures? That's enough just to get fans being like, oh, can't wait to see this fucking film. It's interesting.
It's getting people a lot more interested in the movie. Like, because I've only put out like toys and maybe a couple of leaked pictures of stuff. That's it. But you can just tell that because obviously Kevin Feige's not fully in charge, it's Sony that are in charge. You can just tell Sony are just like, fucking hell, Kevin, can we just release something? He's just like, no. And they're just like, fuck. Because I think what's happened is they've taken a bit of a back step because Alfred Molina basically said, yeah, I'm Doc Ock from 2004. Aye.
And I think Kevin's just like, oh,
shit.
Fuck's sake. He had one goddamn job to do.
Because I'm sure
one goddamn job.
Tobey Maguire's meant to be in it, allegedly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we only know who should be in it.
Who else? Kirsten Dunst. No, is it Kirsten Dunst?
Confirmed. Alfred Molina, Jamie Foxx, Benedict Cumberbatch, obviously. Wong, the guy who plays Wong. Obviously, Tom Holland. Zendaya, who I've actually grown to like her a lot, by the way. I don't know what, it's just something came over me. I'm just like, I like her. And that's literally, well, obviously Jon Favreau, the usual Jon Favreau and Aunt May, whoever Aunt May is nowadays. But like and Ned, and yeah. So
he's skinny now.
He's skinny now.
No.
So they're in it, but like there's obviously the speculation of Willem Dafoe, Michael Keaton, Tom Hardy, Jared Leto, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. Who Andrew Garfield did like point blank say, like literally, and I quote, "I'm not in the fucking movie." But then I'm like, yeah, but you're going to say that. You know what I mean? So like, I don't think he's ever going to win. Like, see if they ask Tobey Maguire, are you in it? He's like, no. You're like, oh, okay, you've meant to say that. That's why I think it's kind of funny about Alfred Molina, because Alfred Molina point blank asked, are you in it? He's like, yes. And then
if it was like going to be like a proper multiverse movie, it's just all the Uncle Ben show up from all the movies. That's it.
Well, we've not had
Uncle Ben fight.
We've not Uncle Ben's. Well, we've not got an Uncle Ben for the Tom Holland universe.
Aye.
We've only got Uncle Ben from.
I've always liked that fan theory that that Tobey Maguire could have been Uncle Ben from this. Like I've always kind of liked that because they're about the same. Well, not about the same age. He's a wee bit younger than her, but like I would like that. But at the same time, only as a cameo, not as a.
I don't know. I don't know.
Obviously, there are other actors out there. Could be Auntie Ben. You never know.
Auntie Ben.
Nowadays.
Do you know what's funny though? See, Cliff Robertson, the first Uncle Ben from Sam Raimi Spider-Man. Cliff Robertson, yeah, I think it's Cliff Robertson. He's a great Uncle Ben. Like he's a memorable Uncle Ben. And then obviously when they done it again with Andrew Garfield's Uncle Ben, and they brought it in, and it was Martin Sheen.
Aye.
Now I love Martin Sheen, but I felt nothing. It just, I felt, I was like, I don't feel this. I don't feel this at all. I'm like, nah. I'm just like, nah, I don't feel this. Cliff Robertson's like my Uncle Ben. I felt him. I was like, definitely. Oh shit.
Aye.
And even when he died, I'm just like, oh fuck, Uncle Ben's dead. Like actually dead now. I'm like, oh shit. Martin Sheen, I love him as an actor. He's a great actor, but I just like, I don't feel you as Uncle Ben. So I kind of like the fact that they've left Uncle Ben out of this universe, because then I think you would get Uncle Ben and be like, all right, here we go. Third time's a charm.
Aye.
I don't know. And then what do? Do you cast a big actor? Do you not cast a big actor? Well, I don't know.
Do you know what they could do? They could end up putting a whole spin on it and then doing what they did in the Spidey game for PS4 and just killing off Aunt May. And then making her like just, do you know what? Bugger it. Neil Uncle Ben. Aunt May will be the death that kind of makes Peter better himself, because maybe he just goes off on the rails or something.
I believe they probably will kill Aunt May at some point, just to give Peter
a bad feeling, but you know, it could happen.
But it'd be good though, it'd be a ballsy, like, ooh, they've just done that. Ooh.
In the chats, whoever's in the chat, try and find out when her contract's up. We'll find out. We could write this ourselves.
Let's write it ourselves. How are the chat guys? How are we doing? So Blue Harvest said, I think Grey Vision will be Ultron. No, I like Vision. I like Grey Vision. I like Vision. No, don't do that. That's not, no.
I think there might be some sort of truth in that, but like that might be how Vision
he was meant to be.
Yeah,
Ultron.
that might be how Ultron comes back, because like that's not a Vision made Ultron. That's a human made one, and then it could be like there's some sort of thing left behind, like a bit of data, Ultron, and then bam.
It could be understandable. I mean, I think what was cold was the fact that Vision killed Ultron. He took his life, and I was like, oh, that's bold. Like, because obviously Ultron created Vision, and Vision just killed Ultron. I was like, ooh. Jupiter said Toby's not in it. I don't know. I mean, I've said this actually. I said, it's funny though. I said that, hey Dan, yo. I said that if Toby's in anything, I think maybe Doctor Strange 2, since it's directed by Sam Raimi. It'd be on the nose, but it makes sense. I don't know. And then he says, Jupiter then says, dude, Keaton's in the Flash. I know. I love Michael Keaton. I cannot wait. And Michael Keaton was spoken to the other day and said that going back into the Batsuit, so he's confirmed in the Batsuit. He said going back into the Batsuit just felt like he'd never left him. I'm like, oh yes, he's in a bat fucking suit. Love it.
I mean, it really hasn't left him, because you've seen what he was like when it was filming Homecoming. Like he was constantly telling Spider-Man that he was Batman. Like.
I'm Batman. Daniel agrees with me. What do you agree on? I've spoken about a lot of things. What do you agree on? Please tell me. 30 seconds. Dan should be working. Well, Dan, do you know what? I appreciate you, Dan, for coming on. Thank you for doing your work. I appreciate that. What were you saying, Matty, about Keaton? Sorry.
A couple of weeks ago, they released pictures of what his Batmobile's going to look like, and it's almost a shot-for-shot remake of like the '89 Batmobile, which is one of the best ones. Like it's one of the ones everybody says is most iconic.
That's the thing is, like, see when people say like, oh, Christian Bale's my Batman, like my Batman is Michael Keaton. Yeah. Like my Batman, Michael Keaton. I grew up with Michael Keaton. My mum showed me Batman at a very young age. Like I think it was Christmas Day, early 90s, and they had Batman was a premiere, and they had Batman on BBC One. and but it was a cut version, bastards. And then I got shown the full 15. You forget Batman's a 15, the full 15 rated Batman. And my mom didn't realize how dark and grim, how brutal it is, especially Batman Returns. That's a brutal fucking Christmas movie. That's a brutal film. Like, seriously, like Die Hard's brutal, but this thing's fucking scary. I love Batman 89. Like, I've always just like it's close to my heart. Like, don't be wrong, it's like way from being a masterpiece. It's not the Dark Knight, but at the same time, it's my Batman. Like, everyone's like, oh, Christian Bale. I like Christian Bale. I'm like,
100% agree with you. Like, I'm not. When the Batman movies, when the Christian Bale Batman movies came out, I was like, thank fuck, we've got a new Batman. And then I was like, I do like the more comic bookness of the older ones.
Yeah.
Like, I totally understood what they were doing, like with Chris Nolan's trilogy, like making it a bit more real and all that. And I totally got that, and it worked. It worked fucking brilliantly. But there's just something about a guy falling into a vat of acid and then coming out looking like that.
Yeah.
It's just you couldn't do that in a Christian Bale style. Like, there's a reason he had to use face paint, like, for his one. Because there's no way you can translate that into real life. Like, a guy just came out, and then obviously we've got Harley Quinn and everything else now. Basically do that because they've went back to the roots, but they've also kind of mixed in a wee bit more of realism with it. So it can be done. It's just.
Do you not find it, like, other than Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck? I love Ben Affleck. I love Ben Affleck as an actor in general. So anything he's in, I'm fucking watching it. Even his shitty films with Jennifer Lopez, Gigi or something like that. Oh, pish, but still, he was fucking Ben Affleck. And she is literally fucking Ben Affleck again. So it's all good. Do you know what? I was actually like, I screamed out of like excitement when I seen the two of them together. I was like, yes, Hello and Ben Affleck's back together again. Fucking dancer. It's like Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston. The minute they get back together, I'm like, yes, Braniston. Is it no? Braniston, I think it is, isn't it? See where I've lost a train of thought. So see when Batman Begins, like Batman came back again. You know, Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. Did you find it like weird? I don't know. I've always found it weird how we're like, that's a Batman movie. That's Batman. Like, see Batman Begins. See when Batman Begins, like, see when just like when you look at the Dark Knight trilogy as a whole, they came out at a kind of strange time. So Batman Begins came out in 2005 at the kind of hype of Spider-Man and fucking X-Men and Superman. Well, kind of Superman coming back in 2006. But like, it was like kind of hype, and it's like this grounded Batman. And it was grounded in just like, it was just a action thriller. You're just like, that's Batman. That's fucking. I don't know. I've just always got a strange feeling when I'm watching. I'm just like, that's fucking Batman, but it's not Batman, but it's Batman. It's weird.
And then you have the.
I don't know what I mean.
Voice.
Yeah, I don't know what I mean, because I think again, it's like what you were saying about the whole like Batman 89 and Returns and Forever and Batman and Robin. Like, they're not perfect films. Obviously, you know, Batman 89 and Returns are fucking masterpieces compared to the two.
Batman and Robin is definitely not fucking perfect.
I actually bought it. It was $3.99 on Amazon Prime. I thought I'm going to buy it. I'm just going to buy it and just watch it at some point.
Never going to get $3.99 back ever.
But when you watch the just the campiness, the over the top style, the comic book style, that was Batman. When you watch Batman, the Dark Knight trilogy, the Nolan trilogy,
that's definitely
they're Batman, but they're more like just a regular average Joe putting on a suit and just being a vigilante. It just felt more grounded, whereas they were flamboyant, comic booky. But don't be wrong, even comic book wise, and this is Kevin Smith's favorite words, like Batman 89. Tim Burton has clearly never read a Batman comic.
Yeah, no.
And you 100%. Know that, like, don't get me wrong. I would say personally, Batman 89 is as close to a Batman comic book as you're going to get, but it's still not Batman.
Aye.
It's weird. It's a very weird situation, but I appeal to them more.
In saying that, though, like,
it's weird.
Batman v Superman.
I like Batman v Superman.
I know, no.
Everyone hates that fucking film.
I fucking loved it. But
right, the Martha shit, I'll give you that. That was terrible.
But the end scenes when they're just battering each other, like that is shot for shot, like right out of a comic book.
Exactly.
Like, it's a fucking guy that flies and a guy that's dressed as a fucking bat who has a car that is meant to be shaped somehow like a bat as well. And they're just rattling each other. Like,
do you
what's not to
know
love?
my only dislike, even for Ben Affleck's Batman, is the Batmobile. For some strange reason, what's happened to the Batmobile? Like, it was a cool, like, just I don't. Why
like,
does it?
Adam West's and then
Adam West's Batmobile.
It looks good for a TV show.
Yeah.
Batmobile, and then there's the '89 Batmobile,
brilliant,
bang on. And then there's the Batman Forever one, which I really liked. Like, I like that design of it, but like practicality probably.
It's still a
really
Batmobile. Whereas the Dark Knight trilogy and even the Ben Affleck one, it's a big tank. Like, why?
I mean, I really liked the Tumbler, but not as a Batmobile. I really liked the Tumbler purely because that was made for that movie. Like, that was the first one made from scratch.
I like the Batbike. I like this Batbike.
Aye. Whereas the other Batmobiles were like already cars that they just re-chassied. They've just remade it. Whereas the Tumbler was specifically made, which was pretty cool. And it was a good starting point. But it seems like the one that Batfleck got was just like a slimline version of that in a way.
Yeah. It was a slimline Tumbler.
And it's like, I feel like it's going to be a couple more Batman transitions before we get to something that's going to be really good. Although, I was going to say, can I see in your face?
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson's one looks fucking amazing.
The muscle car, that does look pretty cool.
I seen that people were pure hating on it. I was like, this is meant to be like Batman Year One. Like, this is like Batman starting off, and that is what it's like. Like, fair enough, he's rich as fuck, but
do you know what's funny though?
Making something from scratch when you're rich as fuck is going to be a pure obvious thing. Like, that's just like a custom deal.
Do you know what I love about the muscle car though? The Batman muscle mobile, we'll call it. The muscle mobile is, when you look at it from a bird's eye view, it kind of looks like a bat, like, because the back of it is kind of got the
fins.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, you're smart. Like, at least they've taken a car and made it kind of bat-ish. Whereas, like, Zack Snyder and Nolan just said, fuck it, it's a tank. You're just like, all right, it's a black tank, that's Batmobile, fuck it, why not?
I mean, I kind of get what they were doing. They were like, let's show off how much money he's actually got.
I understand.
Whereas this one, it's like, he's acting more like a proper detective. Like, you wouldn't think of, like, someone who's got that much money would just turn up in something that has clearly been custom made, but could probably be made by a redneck as well.
Talking about our favorite Batman, which we just all of a sudden go into. Like I said, it's a random movie chat, so we just talk about it. Jupiter said that Robert's my favorite Batman, even though it's not out yet. That's interesting, because I've seen quite a lot of people saying that.
That's a bold statement as well.
That's a bold statement, but it's funny though, because like I've seen quite a lot of people saying it, like Robert Pattinson's Batman's already their favorite just by the look of the trailer. I like that. That's a bold statement, because you do look at him, and I tell you, I am like, I've never, like, I love Ben Affleck. I cannot wait to see him return in the Flash movie, whatever they do with him. I've never been so fucking excited for a Batman film than this. Like, I'm more excited for this than The Dark Knight. Like, I really am just like, this film is going to be fucking something.
Aye.
And I think this could be like a 15. I think it could be like a proper, brutal, savage Batman movie, which is what you want to see, because Batman is a savage fuck. Like,
when that trailer dropped like last year.
That trailer was brutal on its own.
It was brutal, but it was also, see, the fact that we knew it was getting filmed in Glasgow. So that's the most Glasgow-seeing thing I've ever seen. A guy getting absolutely decked, battered by a guy dressed in a fucking batsuit. He stops for 2 seconds and then he continues to batter the guy. I'm just like, this has clearly been filmed in Glasgow. Like,
don't get me wrong. The only thing that I was just like, I would have said that, was when he was beating the shit out of that guy and he's just like, vengeance. You're just like, didn't he say it and just stop?
I know, but the way he said it, it didn't even ruin the scene for me. I was just like,
it was still cool, but you're just like, he didn't need to see anything. He just punched the shit out of him and been like, that's it, the Batman 2022. But I cannot. I honest to God, I've never had more. I mean, it's fucking Robert Pattinson.
Aye.
Like, I've never been more excited to see that man on the big screen. Like, I genuinely am just like, oh my God, Edward is Batman. He's graduated from being a sparkly vampire prick to being the father of all. I'm like, holy shit, fair play to that man. Now, don't be wrong though. It was Stephen Dan. It was more Steve that wheeled me towards like his indie films. He's a good fucking actor.
Yes,
I did not realize that.
that's the thing. Like, everybody obviously jumps on the bandwagon where like, oh, he's fucking Edward from Twilight. He didn't even like Twilight. He openly admits that he didn't like it, but he did it because it was a job, and it's the same thing. Like, it made him a good bit of money to go on and do indie stuff that they could make his career a bit better. Yeah. And now he's fucking Batman.
I remember a rumor because there's been rumors of him like hating being Batman. He falls out with what do you call him? That's directing it. Matt Reeves and all that kind of shit, and saying I've heard a few rumors from people on set. You know, their sister's, mother's, dog's baby daddy has said things like supposedly Robert Pattinson is doing this one Batman movie to gain some money so he can direct his first independent movie. And that's it. He's only doing this to get money. I'm just like, nah, he's Batman for the long run.
Even if he does do that,
he's getting burnt. He's getting burnt.
I know. As long as he does a good job with it, I'm not really going to complain. Like, I would love to see him come back, but if his heart's not going to be in it, then fine.
Can you imagine he's just like a one can Dan Batman, just like one film, that's him, done deal. I mean, don't get me wrong, Val Kilmer and George Clooney done one film, but that's because they weren't that good, and they just were like, "Oh, fuck this man."
Because is Joaquin Phoenix going to get another Joker movie?
Supposedly, like I put a video up because supposedly it's been confirmed, and I mean that in a kind of way. Like it was, I think it was the Hollywood Reporter in Variety that both were talking about the future of the Flash and multiverse and stuff like that, and they said that they're a wee tiny bit in the pan. Like, people actually missed this out. And not that I'm not saying that I discovered it and I'm the first person to discover it, but like I'm just jumping the bandwagon and everyone else talking about it. They missed it a little bit. It says like the Batman is in its own universe like the Joker and its sequel. Right. And people were like, do they mean the Batman sequel? Or do they mean Joker sequel? So I don't know. I don't know if they've maybe made a mistake or if it's a wee kind of, I don't know. But there's been rumblings. So like, I mean, a Joker 2, I wouldn't be against it. Like,
Jupiter is saying he wishes Robert was in the Flash movie.
Who knows? He might be. You never know. Because like, it's a multiverse, and I mean, I know the Batman's in its own universe, but like, it's still a multiverse.
I would just love to see Robert's Batmobile in the Flash movie alone. I want to see that thing race against the Flash. It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Run him over.
Was it? There are so many different Batmans that are all comic accurate, so that's fair enough. They are. Dan said the Batmobile looks like a bat eye. It looks like a bat. It does. He's a wee kind of. It's got a bat looking kind of thing. Jupiter then says, "Dude, the Batmobile tank is straight out of the comics, out of Frank Miller." I agree. No, I agree. It's just, I'm not a fan of the tank Batmobiles. Like, I know they're obviously from the comic books, but I just don't like tank.
I think it's more the way they're used. Like in the comics, like the times, like fair enough in the Frank Miller one, that's the only Batmobile he's got is the fucking tank because it's probably the only one that's left over. From
the Dark Knight Returns.
But like the Nolan one, that was the only Batmobile he had, but it was like the first Batmobile he ever used as well, and you're just like usually kind of up the artillery a wee bit. He just decides bugger it and going in all guns swinging. That's the thing that kind of annoyed me. Like I prefer, like, I'm just like it's the only time I ever talk about cars. Like I'm not a guy that way, but just like when it comes to Batmobiles, like you start off with like small and then you work up, right?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm the same. I don't drive. I don't even fucking drive. But I don't care about cars. But like, I'll talk about the DeLorean, the Aston Martin, the Batmobile, the A-Team van. I'll talk about them. They're my cars. Millennium Falcon, like they're my cars. But like, I couldn't be like, oh yeah, my dad bought a BMW X5 series. I'm just like, gives a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I genuinely don't care. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Mustangs. Like, I like Mustangs. I love the Mustangs. I think they're nice. Even it took me a while to get around to liking the British Mustangs. Like, they're not the same shape, but it is what it is, American ones. But like, they're pretty decent. But like, I don't give a shit about cars in general. Like, unless an Aston Martin or fucking, the DeLorean.
That's the thing. Like, my wee brothers, they're like mechanics, the two of them. Like,
my brothers love cars. They love their cars.
I don't understand, but then again, they don't understand my obsession with Star Wars, so it's kind of balances out. I guess.
My brother Matthew, my youngest brother, they get my obsession. Matthew likes films. He can sit and watch films with me. He likes. We were like during like lockdown and stuff like that. There, he's been home and stuff like that. We've been sitting like down the stairs, watching Quentin Tarantino films. He's been catching up with Quentin Tarantino films. Like, he's seen like Django Unchained like fucking multiple times because it's one of our favorite Tarantino films. Like, we can sit and watch that and Wolf of Wall Street together like non-stop. Like, so we watched like, he's seen them one. He's seen Django Unchained. He's seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think so. We watched Pulp Fiction. He loved Pulp Fiction. He thought it was really good. He didn't quite get the story, and I was like, I don't think anyone got the story, to be honest. I think it's just because it's the look of it. Just the look of it. It just looks like a good film. We watched Kill Bill 1 and 2. He liked Kill Bill. Thought Kill Bill was very good. He said it's a bit much. I was like, okay, I understand that. When you do,
really good. The second one kind of
When you rewatch,
it's not bad, but it's just
when you rewatch Kill Bill films, you think that's a bit much for fucking. I mean, fair play. I think we've still got to watch. I mean, I've seen them all, but he's still got to watch Reservoir Dogs, Jackie Brown.
I like Reservoir Dogs.
Do you know what's funny? See, my first ever Quentin Tarantino film. Hi, Kirsty, my girlfriend's here. The first ever Quentin Tarantino film I watched was Pulp Fiction, just because it was. I think when I was like. And I'm not joking, like, I was a late bloomer. I was like 15, 16 when I watched it. So like, that's going back like what, near enough 15 years ago. So first time I've ever seen a Quentin Tarantino film. It was on BBC Two like a Sunday night. I was like, fuck, I watched Pulp Fiction. It was like 2.5 hours long. I thought, that's a long film. But I recorded it. I think I had school the next day. I was like, I'll record it. And I recorded it and watched it. I love Pulp Fiction. I think it's brilliant. Again, story-wise, not got a clue what's going on. But it's just the style and it's just the dialogue. Like Kevin Smith, the dialogue's genius. Like, he knows his dialogue. Kevin Smith knows his dialogue. Quentin Tarantino knows his dialogue. But I watched that, and that was the only one I'd seen. And then round about that, oh no, tell a lie. Actually, no. What are we in right now? 2021. 2021. So Pulp Fiction was first. I think it was around about the time when they released Kill Bill. So 2004, 2005, I think they had like a kind of thing where like they just throw on every Tarantino film at that point. And at that point, it'd only been like 5. I think it'd been about 5 or 6 at that point. So, actually 5, I think, because Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, Jackie Brown. So like 4, 5. So it'd been Kill Bill 1 and 2 would have been 5, 4 and 5. So he counts it as one film, so it's quite good though. That's quite good though. For the 10 films, he still counts it as one film. So I'm like, fair play. So they had BBC Two had a wee thing. They flung in all the Tarantino films. So I watched Pulp Fiction, thought it was brilliant. Then I watched Kill Bill 1 and 2, loved them. Then I went back to Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown, I didn't really enjoy it. I want to watch it again to see if I could maybe see if it's just the age, see what it's like now. Reservoir Dogs, I despised that film at first. It was so weird.
I was the same. Like, I didn't hate it, but like I was kind of like.
It's because
I'll be honest. It's the same the way when I first watched Clerks, right? I was pretty young when I watched
so
Clerks,
basic,
so I didn't get it.
Yeah.
But now, looking back and watching it, it's one of my favorite movies. Like, because it's relatable.
See,
I work in a shop.
Steve and Dan, I think that's Dan's favourite Kevin Smith film. I think it's Steve's as well. I think one of them likes Clerks. I love Clerks 2. Clerks 2, I think Clerks 2 is good. I think Clerks 2 is a superior Clerks. I don't know. I mean, it's you can do a big agree.
I've not seen Clerks 2 in ages, so I can't.
I love Clerks 2.
I've got the anniversary edition of Clerks, the first one.
Oh, I got it
in CEX for £1. Like,
I've got the Miramax film released the collection. It's the Miramax collection for that and Chasing Amy. I love Chasing Amy. Like that's an underrated one. And then Jersey Girl.
Chasing Amy and Jersey Girl are the two that are missing from my collection. I've got all the other ones. It's just them and Clerks 2. They're the three that I need.
And then Clerks 3. Oh, can't wait. I love Clerks. I can't wait. I'm nervous, but I'll be optimistic.
After Jane Silent Bob Strike Back, reboot.
Reboot. Yeah,
I'm optimistically hopeful for it because like that was a really good watch for me. Like
it was a fun watch. Just anything, Kevin. Just make me some more Kevin Smith stuff. I'll be happy.
It was just cameos all over the place. I loved it.
Oh yeah. It was just a fanboy's wet dream. It was just basically a love letter, fan service, all that kind of stuff. It's brilliant. What was I saying? So Reservoir Dogs. When I first watched it, I was like, "Pelly shit, I didn't like it." Because I was obviously fresh off of like Kill Bill, Pulp Fiction, his better films, and then I watched Reservoir Dogs. I was like, "This is a lot of shit. What's this all about?" But then when you watch Reservoir Dogs years later, and you sit and watch the dialogue, and you listen to the things, everything, it's beautiful. It's fucking perfect. When you sit and really take in what they're saying, the discussions, the fact that they never showed the bank case, they just showed the aftermath, and you're just like, "That's fucking smart." It's cheap, but it's smart. And then so we've been watching all the Quentin Tarantino films. I think Matthew's still to see Jackie Brown, so I'm going to rewatch that hopefully and maybe enjoy it a lot more. The Hateful Eight. Still seen the Hateful Eight. He's seen Inglourious Bastards a few times. I like Inglourious Bastards. It's a
good watch.
It's fun. Like it's probably when you watch it later, it's not amazing. The acting helps, like Christoph Waltz, like just all that helped. Brad Pitt pretending he's fucking Italian, grazie. Like that all helps. The film itself, you're just like, it's a hit or miss.
Yeah. I think most of these new stuff, it's not. I think because we all kind of have all the hype for how great his stuff is matured or aged over the years.
Yeah,
we think like the second his new one comes out, it's going to be as good as what we've hyped. Like the ones that are 20 years old up to.
Yeah.
Give it a couple more years, and then we'll all be like, actually, this is actually up there with the rest of it as well. It's just.
Well, that's
I think everybody just kind of assumes he's going to be able to hit it off straight away.
Oh, see, that's like, and I kind of get why I want to stop at 10 because 10 is then like 10 solid films.
Aye,
I can understand that. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I loved it, but I can see why people will be like,
I started watching it.
Right, I'm not going to ruin it, right? But it's one of those kind of things where I can see why people will be sitting and thinking, "Are you fucking for serious? Are you fucking for real? Are you really? I've just spent 2.5 hours, and are you fucking for real?" But when you watch it, knowing that it's just his love letter to Hollywood in the '60s, you think, "Okay, it makes sense."
Aye.
But
I think I sat down to try and watch it, but I was doing something else at the time, and then I was kind of like,
I was going to say,
I need to actually sit down and actually watch it because I got as far as like the wee fight with Bruce Lee.
Oh, genius!
That's about as far as I got before I was like,
And do you know what's funny?
I'll watch.
See the hatred he got for that. Bruce Lee was a cocky wee bastard. He was an arsehole.
100%.
Seriously, see this shit of I was God's gift to man. He was so nice. Yes, he was. But two, he knew he was amazing. He knew he was God's gift. Like,
yeah.
Quentin Tarantino thinks he's God's gift. He's that obnoxious bastard as well. Like, he knows that. He admits that. We've got a cameo.
Hold on.
All right, man, cool. Jupiter has said, still waiting on that room tour video. I will do it. I promise you, I will do it. It's just difficult because I think it's boring. Jupiter's. I'm just saying. Jupiter's saying that he's still waiting on my room tour video. But like, I'd be bored like filming it. I just like that's it.
This is all the cool stuff.
That's it. like.
We'll see it on the live stream the other side of your room. Like so.
Do you know what's funny actually? It was the A New Hope watch along that you saw. The other side is literally just Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3 framed posters.
And that's
it. I've not done anything with that side yet. I don't know what I'm going to do with that side. I'm not sure. This side's like the YouTube studio side. What I do want to do though, I could do like I'm going to do like an individual Pop Funko collection video. Like I'll do that. Like I've got 62 Pop Funkos. I'll do that. Like this. I can tell you some stories about my Pop Funkos, but like,
cool.
I don't really.
That series.
Yeah, I'll do that. Like I don't mind. I'll do that and stuff like that. But I don't really. Like it's an awesome background, but like, I don't know. I don't know if it'd make for a good video. I want to do some more unboxings. And what did I?
Oh.
You going?
I want to do some more unboxings and like what did I buy in Forbidden Planet and stuff like that. I just don't buy much stuff.
I mean, you could easily make that into a TikTok.
Is that the kid? Is that the kid?
That was the kid taking the dog.
Fair enough.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll do something. I'll do some like unboxings and stuff like what did I buy this week? I just don't buy a lot of stuff right now because I'm just skint.
Much like the rest of us.
All I do is I buy t-shirts. I buy t-shirts from Asda. This is £8. £6 from Asda.
This one's about 7 years old now. Like it's Harley Quinn doing the Blink-182 cover.
Fair enough. I got this 3 weeks ago from Asda. I got my t-shirts from like Asda and Tesco.
You get all the good superhero shit too.
Exactly, and also they do all the good sizes. Like HMV stop at 2XL, Asda's like 3XL, 4XL, 5XL, 6XL. I'm just like, yes, it is. Zavi's now started doing like fatter man t-shirts. They're pricks. They stop at like 2XL, 3XL, but their 3XL is like muscular 3XL. I'm just like, fuck off. I'm fat 3XL. But I always find that I need to buy like 4XL and 5XL for my 2XL, 3XL body. I'm just like, that's a bastard, by the way. Thank God I live with my girlfriend now, because if my mum is washing 5XL t-shirts, she'd be like, oh my God, you put the weight on. I'm just like, no, mum, it's not. It's just a t-shirt. It's the fucking material in the t-shirt. No, it's not. You put on weight. I'm just like, why must you bully me? So yeah, Jupiter, to answer your question, I will do a tour video, but I'll do like a Pop Funko, like my Pop Funko collection, and then see how that goes. And if you guys like it, I'll do more. But like, I don't really. You've seen it all. Like that's literally it. That's literally it.
And it's more than what I've got, but I have some creative lighting.
You have got good lighting actually.
Waiting to see how long this battery's going to last on it, because I turned it on just before you invited me into the Zoom call, and like it's faded like a wee bit.
It's lasting. I mean, that's been like what? That's been
an hour, an hour and 20 minutes. Give or take. Well,
hour and a half nearly. Is there anything else you want to talk about, man? Because like we could just kind of. What are your hopes and dreams for the future?
That's a deep question, man.
It's a deep question. Oh, by the way, like, so you live, and I'm not obviously going to, well, we can talk about it. Like, you live in Greenock, right?
Yes.
Right. Do you live near that fucking Scotland's Chernobyl?
Which one? That
something park. I don't know. It's called Scotland's Chernobyl. It's just basically a block of flats, like a whole block of flats, an abandoned church, an abandoned school. But there's still a few people living in the flats, and there's a wee shop. There's a fucking estate agents.
Sounds like Greenock.
No, I don't know. I don't know what it's called. It's called something Park, and it's called Scotland's Chernobyl because it looks like people have just basically they've just left in the middle of a fucking disaster.
I don't think so. I'm going
to it's like Greenock or Gourock. I want to go there. I like abandoned buildings.
I'm in Gourock, right? And I know Gourock's like one of the ones. See, if you live in Greenock, they think Gourock's the posh end, right? It's not
yeah,
really.
I've heard that.
Still a shithole. But like I can't think of anywhere that's around about here. Oh no, in fact, I think I do know what you're talking about actually.
It's something. It's something Park or something. I don't know.
I can't remember the name of it, but I think I know where you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it kind of is like it's one of them places like you just look at it and you're like, nobody actually lives here, but then you look and you're like, oh, aye, the mutants live here.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to go there. I like abandoned building. I've done a few. I've got a few abandoned building stuff on my channel that I'm going to try and do some more because I like abandoned building shit and all that kind of shit. Jupiter said that Watchmen is the most comic book accurate movie ever. It's word for it. No, it is.
You're not
Watchmen.
wrong.
I've got the graphic novel right there.
I've got it.
I love Zack Snyder's Watchmen movie. I think it's fucking really good.
I've still not seen the show, but I hear
the
good things.
Show is really good. The show, if it's not really spoiling it, but the show's interesting because the show is a sequel to the actual comic book.
Aye.
It's weird because you're watching it thinking, is this a sequel to the Zack Snyder film?
Aye.
But then they talk about things. You're just like,
it's kind of, but it's not because
I know because
it's different, but at the same time, it's not.
In a roundabout way, theoretically speaking, it technically is a sequel to the movie because the movie is literally the book, page by page, or the comic book or the graphic novel. So in a roundabout way, yes, the TV show is a sequel to the book, to the movie, whatever. The show's really good. Steve loved the show. It was a really good fucking show, like a really, really good show. Like really good. Like one of those kind of things where you want a series 2, but it ends in a kind of way that you're just like, I'm content. I'm happy. I'm content. Like the movie, the movie ends in a way. The comic book, like all of Watchmen, ends in a way that you're just like, I'm content.
That's how I never really understood why they a couple of years ago they brought out new Watchmen comics, and I was like,
yeah, well they done the Doomsday comics, Minutemen went back, but then again, Minutemen was
that tied in with the actual DC characters, didn't it?
And Minutemen was the first variation of Watchmen back in the 40s. So I was like, that's pretty cool going back the way. I would like an adaptation, like a big screen or small screen adaptation of Minutemen. As for Watchmen 2, like I think the TV show is the closest we'll get to a Watchmen 2, and that was fucking perfect. Like, don't get me wrong, halfway through the show, you're just like, I haven't got a scoop of what's going on here. As he's getting a bit too kind of, I don't know, it's a bit too obscure. And then something happened, and then something, is he? Oh, bye, Jupiter. Thank you for watching, and thanks for chatting and stuff like that. See you soon. We'll talk more about Watchmen soon, though. It's obscure, but then something happens. You're just like, oh shit! There you go. There's the Watchmen. But I love the film. I think the film's fantastic. I love it. I really do. It's a very underrated Zack Snyder film. It's a very underrated film in general because, like, I think it's one of those kind of things where it's a movie out of time. It's like it should have been made now.
Aye.
If it had been made now, it'd have fucking blew up. But because it was made back in 2009, at the kind of starting of the MCU, we had the Dark Knight, we had Superman. Superman Returns anyway. We had a lot more other things to watch with, and then we had this R-rated, explicit Watchmen adaptation that I loved it, but a lot of people were just like, eh. But I think if it was made now, like the show is done now, obviously, and people like ate the show up. I think if the movie was done now, it'd be appreciated a lot more.
Aye.
But it is what it is. It is what it is. It's one of those things. It's the good thing is it's there for people to watch. Because the good thing about fans is there was fans of the new show who were like, right, I'm watching this, and it's like a sequel to something I've not seen before.
Aye.
And you can either go back and read the comic books, or you can go back and discover the movie. So that's what I'm saying. The good thing about the TV show is it could be looked at as a sequel to the comic book or a sequel to the movie, whatever's easier for you to get to. It's all the same anyway, because they're all adaptations of the exact same thing. So it's good that way. But no, I like the fact that the movie has had a little bit of resurgence over the last few years because of the TV show, because of the new comic books, etc. And people are like, what's this? And then they're like, oh, that's that fucking film. Oh shit, that's pretty cool. I think people still look at it and be like, oh, Zack Snyder, fuck's sake. But no, it's like it's like Dawn of the Dead. like the Zack Snyder's 2000.
I've never not liked a Zack Snyder movie. Like,
Don't get me wrong, I watched a bit of Sucker Punch, and I was like,
Sucker Punch is one of them ones that my missus was really into before, like, we proper started going out, and she showed me it.
Yeah.
And then she was like me when I'm talking about Star Wars and I'm talking about stuff behind the scenes and all that. And and
that's
it's the
cool.
same.
That's cool.
And it was like one of them ones, like, she was like, every time you watch it, you start to pick up something new because you know how it's going to end. And then, like, and I'm just like, I've done that a few times. I was like,
that's what I've heard. I've heard Sucker Punch is a better watch, like,
multiple times
after you've watched it again and again and again. So I will watch it at some point. If I can find it, I'll watch it at some point. I'm trying to think of Zack Snyder films like Dawn of the Dead, Man of Steel, Watchmen, Sucker Punch, that animated film Legends of the Owls or something like that, whatever it was. That Batman v Superman, Justice League, Army of the Dead. I think that's it. What has he actually done? 300. Fuck.
Yes.
300 was good. I love 300.
I rewatched that the other day, and
how's the rewatch quality?
It's spotty in places, but at the same time, it's not that bad. Like, it's purely because you kind of like, right, obviously CGI's got a good wee bit better since then. Like,
yeah, Dan 300. Yeah.
I think it's mainly the scene where it's like the rhino coming towards him, and he just stands there and absolutely yeets it. That bit, like, is a really it's still brilliant to watch. It's still a great scene, but you're just looking at it like, that doesn't even really look that realistic at all. But it's maybe 5 seconds of film out of the whole movie that's kind of a wee bit weird. Apart from that, the rest is fantastic.
Did you ever watch 300 Rise of the Empire, the prequel?
Aye.
I never watched it. I never got around to watching it. Any good?
It was like a prequel sequel sort of thing.
Because it's is it Lena Headey's characters talking about Leonidas and then going back the way or something like that?
It's good. It's nowhere near as good as 300, but
yeah,
it's more like, see how at the end of 300, how there's like so fucking thousands of them ready to march.
Yeah.
It's kind of carrying on from that, but also like from a different perspective. Like,
okay,
I can't remember the name of what other country it is. There's another like part of Greece that's who the main character is in it, and then the Spartans show up at the end and just become fucking, it's Spartans.
Because like, I think I had it on Blu-ray, and then I got rid of it before even watching it because I just thought, I'm not going to watch this. Dan said there, Eva Green looked amazing in it. Yeah, she like. Do you know what I say? No, like, the only thing I actually saw from the movie was her sex scene where she got her big babs in. I was just like, oh, that looks good. Then I thought, kind of, part of me was just like, I can just watch that clip if I want to watch that. If I want to watch that whole scene, just watch that clip and that's it. Get rid of the film. No, I really wanted to watch the film, but I just kind of was like, I just was like, no Gerard Butler, no Zack Snyder, then no fucking 300. And then I kind of looked at it and thought, it's literally 300 again, only a prequel.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'll probably watch it if it's like on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. I'm sure that's where I watched it.
It's on Netflix. The prequel.
Oh, I don't know if no 300's on it. I don't know if the prequel's on it, but like, I'm sure I've seen it somewhere.
I've got 300. I've got the Blu-ray somewhere.
If it's not there, it's on Disney Plus. I'm sure it's on one of them too. It might be a Fox one. I'm not sure.
I know the first one was Warner Bros. And the Legendary Pictures.
Aye. I'm not sure then. Maybe Netflix I've watched it on. I have definitely watched it somewhere. But what was I going to say?
300.
300.
Prequel, Eva Green's boobs. There we go.
For some reason, that sprung it back into my mind. I think it's more like, see, because we're talking about movies that are about comics that are pretty damn fucking accurate. V for Vendetta. That's up there with one of my. It's not even that close to the comic, but the movies.
I've never seen the full film. I've seen bits of it and been like, I've seen bits of it and been like, I'm intrigued.
It's really good. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's one of the ones we always watch it on November the 5th because
Guy Fawkes,
Guy Fawkes. But it's one of them ones. It's about revolution and all that stuff, and I'm always
Yeah.
about a revolution. Can I beat it?
I can't be a revolution.
Aye. So like that's how what do you call it? The Robert the Bruce movie that Captain Kirk did. What's his name?
I think it's just called Robert Bruce.
Is it?
Oh, no, it's not. No,
Outlaw King.
Outlaw King.
That one, right.
That's
Love
a
Ending-
good. That's a
Love
good
Ending
fucking
Scottish
movie.
Me, right? Love Ending Scottish Me. That's how the stars are missing from my Captain
Do you know
America
what-
shield because
do
I
you know
wasn't. I was going to do the rampant lion on it.
You know what? I think that like Outlaw King was really fucking good.
Aye, no, 1,000%. Aye,
Like me and Kirsty watched it.
it's
Now-
one of them ones. I wish I like if they ever like decide here we'll put it in the cinema so you can come back and see it. I would 100% COVID or no COVID. I would go and see it.
Because I think it was in. I think it was Outlaw King. Yeah, Dan. I think it was the GFT or something like that for a limited time or something. And then it was like I think it was a GFT, but the same night it was Netflix. I was like, oh fuck, I want to watch Netflix.
Aye.
It's funny though. So I originally watched it because I wanted to see Chris Pine's Willie. Because I heard that he'd got his Willie, and I'm just like, I want to see Captain Kirk's cock. And I'm like, I want to see it. And I was like, I want to see it. And it's funny though, because when he comes out the water, he's like that size. You only see like you just see hair. I'm just like, oh, what? I watched the whole fucking film just to see like that. But then I actually thought the film was very good. Like Chris Pine's Chris Pine's
It's one of them
accent
ones.
was really good.
Like, see, especially if you're Scottish. Like, see if you're watching
Oh, aye.
it gives you such a pure feeling of like,
It's like Braveheart.
aye, like,
It's shit, but it's like it's
but you're
brilliant.
just like, yes. It's
Oh,
the end.
aye.
It's, like, even like the whole sort of story, like about how he was going to castles and all that, and how
Yeah.
it's like burning the castles down, so there was nothing left for the English and stuff. And you're just like, yes.
Kirsty hasn't seen Braveheart because she's never bothered. She's never really bothered with films, really.
That's the thing as well. Braveheart is a terrible fucking movie, but it's brilliant at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, it's historically speaking, it's all over the fucking place, right? But
Yeah, but it's a great film.
it's a great film to watch just because it gets you just
Like,
pure
Mel Gibson
ready.
is a very good William Wallace.
Aye.
Dan just said they mentioned the execution of William Wallace. So, well, do you know what, Dan? See what you said.
Aye.
So you could say it's a sequel to Braveheart. Do you know what's funny, actually? Well, do you know what's funny, though?
Marketed towards
Yeah.
fans of Braveheart.
What's actually funny is I was watching it as a sequel to Braveheart.
Aye.
I was watching it being like, right, that's Robert the Bruce. William Wallace has been fucking sliced and diced. And this is the next stage. But no, what's even funnier? Robert the Bruce, Angus McFadden or something like the guy who played Robert the Bruce in the original Braveheart, did actually return for a Robert the Bruce sequel. So like at the same time, because you like you get sometimes you get maybe studios who do like a film and then they'll do like a rival film and it'll be the same story, same. So they actually did do a proper Robert the Bruce sequel called Robert the Bruce, and it's a sequel to Braveheart, 1995. And it's set like several years later, so it kind of fits in with the fact he looks like an old man now. The Robert the Bruce, the guy who plays Robert the Bruce. But no, it's funny. I watched it, and I was watching it being like, I would rather watch Outlaw King. Outlaw King's like more the Braveheart. Outlaw King's more Braveheart 2 than what the real Braveheart 2 was. It's weird. But then again,
Outlaw King, like I really liked it when I liked all the hype that everybody in Scotland was kind of giving it. Let's fucking watch this. And then I think as well as that, like the action scenes in it were very like Braveheart. Like it felt fucking real. It felt like holy shit. It wasn't like all that pure movie style like fighting where it's all like
it felt legit. Like you felt like they were the Highlands of Scotland, so like they felt legit. Like it felt really like you're watching some guys up in the Highlands just fight with swords. You're just like yes, and also exactly, and also it made it is a little bit perfect as well. A little bit more perfect was Florence Pugh's in it. I'm just like, oh my god, love Florence Pugh. I'm just like yes, in my element, happy.
Who was it that played? See the guy that I can't remember his name. I think it was McDougall or whatever his name was, but the guy kept asking, he just wanted his father's land back, kept fighting for his father's land back, and he says like, an
Outlaw King.
Aye, is because he pure looks like a guy. I don't know if it is the guy that played Kick-Ass, in Quicksilver. But
Oh, it is, yeah. Aaron Taylor
is it him?
Johnson.
Aye.
Yeah.
He was fucking fantastic in that.
Yeah.
Like I kind of went a bit off him because like I liked him in Kick-Ass, but in Quicksilver I was like,
yeah.
oh,
It's
all
funny
right,
because
but
he was great as Kick-Ass. I rewatched. I rewatched Kick-Ass 2. It was on Sky and I was on Now TV. I was like, I fucking watch that. I hate Kick-Ass 2. I think it's diabolical.
two's bad. The first one's brilliant.
The comic book of Kick-Ass 2 is fantastic. The movie is just fucking diabolical. And again, Aaron Taylor Johnson, like he's not really done much. Like he's kind of came and went, like kind of a little bit. He's coming back obviously because he's now playing Kraven the Hunter. Dan said, he mentioned, so Outlaw King is essentially Braveheart 2. Talking about Mel Gibson, the sequels, what about Passion of the Christ? Do you know what's Passion of the Christ? Jesus Strikes Back. Do you know what's funny actually?
Unless it's the Family Guy version, which is Passion of the Christ 2. Crucify this.
That's brilliant. There actually is a Passion of the Christ 2 getting made right now.
That's
with Jim Caviezel coming back as Jesus. No, Dan, properly. There's a Passion of the Christ 2. It's the resurrection of Christ. So we're going to see Jesus being resurrected. But I think if the plot's still going to be the plot that I read it was going to be, with Mel Gibson returning to direct and write, by the way, and produce, the majority of the film was going to take place in hell. So Jesus was going to be fighting the devil. I don't know if it means like fucking Die Hard and Hans Gruber kind of like fighting like that, and then he gets resurrected onto So do you know what's funny? I watched The Passion of the Christ, and I was like, I watched it more for the fact that it was just like gory, and I was like, this is really fucking good. Like a Jesus movie that's not just like, oh Jesus. It was like Jesus getting pinned to the cross. You're just like, oh my God, the fucking size of that knife. You're just like, oh Jesus, and the blood, and Jesus, and the blood, and just it was like graphic. I'm like, I like this film. This is the Jesus I want to watch. So if you want, if the sequel's going to be Jesus versus the devil, I'll fucking watch that film. I will watch that film to the kingdom comes. I will watch that film. I can't wait to see that. But you know what I'm holding out for? I'm holding out for, and I'll probably get crucified for this, literally. I'm calling out for Jesus, the teenage years. I want to see like a sex comedy of Jesus growing up, going through puberty, being like, Jesus, you need to be a friend o'clock. No, and then just being at the parties and like they've got no wine left. He's like, sorry, it's okay, guys, it's cool. What water's now wine? Fuck it, let's have some sex. Just like a sex comedy, Jesus, just a prick, Jesus.
Blue Harvest that just came in with isn't the sequel Easter.
Good point. Dan's
this is how this YouTube channel disappears. Watch tomorrow. The Christians will get us.
I know. So Dan's saying Passion of the Christ, Jesus Strikes Back, Passion of the Christ 3, Return of the Lord. And then Passion of the Christ is a powerful. It is. No, it is. Like, see, seriously, like I'm an atheist. I became an atheist. I don't care about at all. But Passion of the Christ is a good film. It's a really good film. I really enjoyed it. Like I remember back in
realism to it.
Yeah, I remember being back in RE, and like my teacher, Mr. Sweeney, Joe Sweeney, greatest RE teacher of all time, like legend, St. Brendan's and St. Benedict's, and he was going to show us Passion of the Christ because he got it in video like 2004, 2005. He's going to show us Passion of the Christ. And because it's an 18, we were only like 13, 14-year-old, maybe 15. You had to get a letter sent to all parents, and because it's a Catholic school, etc., and all that kind of stuff. So you got to try and piss off the PC crowd, the PG crowd, sorry. And the majority of parents said no. Like we're not happy for children. Like I'm about to laugh here because Dan just said, teenage Jesus shouting at Joseph, "You're not my real dad." Oh, mic dropped. Do you know what? That's a film I want to see. Dan, we're gonna make a teenage Jesus movie just because why not? Like Passion of the Christ offended Christians like so much. Wait till they see Jesus having sex, shouting, "You're not my real dad, Joseph."
Our movie's going to be that good.
Pass me a beer.
Atheists are going to get pissed off.
Oh, even the atheists will be like, even Protestants will be like, "Fucking what? Jesus shagging? Can't have that." I'm getting kicked off YouTube. So yeah, I was really disappointed that they never let us watch Passion of the Christ. But I watched it years later. I remember watching it and being like, this film is badass. This film's really good. Like, I don't give a shit about religion, but I'm like, this is a really good movie. So yeah, Jesus 2, I want to watch Passion of the Christ 2. Jesus Strikes Back. You know what I mean?
Get all over that. That sounds amazing.
It'd be quite good, actually. I'll just, see if it doesn't happen, I'll make it
Mel
myself.
Gibson needs to take a leaf out of Marvel's book. They like a build-up series, like up to Jesus, but they like Moses, they all the other stories in the background, and they all come together. They all come together and they all fight Lucifer. That'd be amazing.
Just a Passion of the Christ cinematic universe.
Aye.
Just they'll come together and it's just Jesus. Oh, do you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to try and see if I can get someone to Photoshop Jesus' face on Captain America's face, grabbing a cross rather than Thor's hammer, and just being like, Christians, assemble. And I just have like Moses, obviously different time zones. Moses, even Joseph's there, just Joseph's there, Mary, God's in the back, God's like Ant-Man, God's giant man, and just Thanos can be the devil, and
put the shovel down, man.
Like Thanos can be the devil. We'll throw in Hitler, because why not? Hitler will be there. Bin Laden, Saddam, all the bad guys could just all be there. Yeah. Everyone could just be there. All those parents who said you're not watching Passion of the Christ because you're only 13. They're all there as well. They're all arseholes. They're all there too. They're all getting taken down. I want to watch that film. You know what I mean? Just Passion of the Christ Endgame. Passion of the Endgame. The Endgame of Christ. I don't know. Fuck it. Dan just said, so glad you're on your own stream and not ours. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But you know what's funny though? We're not slagging it.
No.
Like I genuinely think Passion of the Christ is a very good piece of cinema. I think it's a good film. Like I'm not like I'm an atheist. I've gave up on religion for personal reasons that I'm not going to go into. But I thought Passion of the Christ was a very good film. I like all Jesus films. I remember when I was growing up around about the late 90s, early 2000s, and Easter. So one of the Easters in Sky One, it was the Bible Part 1 and Part 2. It was live action, and Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman was Pontius Pilate. It was so good. Like Gary Oldman was Pontius Pilate. Police Academy. See Lieutenant Harris. He was Pontius Pilate's wee pal. Like it was so random. Deborah Messing, Will and Grace. Deborah Messing. She was in it. She was the queen that asked for the head of John the Baptist. What a prick. Like it was who played Jesus? I can't remember who played Jesus, but it stuck in my head. It was I can't even remember who played Jesus, but it's on my film. That's on my head. It's a good film. It's a good, proper like budgeted movie, Part 1, Part 2. And it ended, spoilers. Well, it's no spoilers, you get crucified. It's like when you watch Titanic, you're just like, oh, the ship get hit by an iceberg. Oh, spoilers. Oh, fuck off. You know what happens? Like it ends with it jumping to like 3 million years later, and it's like our time, and Jesus is born. Now, don't get me wrong, this part was laughable, right? When you watch it now, you think, oh, that's terrible. Jesus is reborn. He's got his long hair, beard. It's all trimmed though. I'm like, why is it trimmed? It's all trimmed and kind of hippie. He's got a shirt on, nice pair of jeans, and he puts his arms out, and you're like, all right. And he's in a street, like say like LA, and all these kids come run towards him and start hugging him, and he walks away, and he's like, and the camera pulls away, and it's just Jesus walking away from all these kids. He's like, oh, and you're just like, a part of me is like, that is the way you end a 90s Jesus movie with this like Michael Jackson music. I think it was like one of those kind of like soft, like kind of Michael Jackson music kind of thing, like just kind of soft music. Obviously nowadays, wrong combination. Jesus with kids, Michael Jackson plays. But back in the 90s, it was cool, it was fine. But it was just one of those kind of like 90s, like it was one of those kind of 90s, like just ballads playing, and Jesus walks away and the camera pans away and it goes to face to black, and it's just like, directed by whatever. And yeah, back then it was like, that's a good fucking ending. But now you think that's not aged well at all.
No.
But the films were good though. But anyway, Passion of the Christ. I like Passion of the Christ. I think it's a good film. I mean, makes you want to go to church and read the Bible.
Okay.
No, but seriously, you watch Passion of the Christ. I was like, I want to read the
From
Bible.
going from Outlaw King, where it makes you want to fight for Scotland, to wanting to go to church, right?
I know.
No, but I get where you're coming from.
Do you know what? I've started rewatching South Park from like literally day one, and one of the episodes. I don't know what they're talking about, but I forgot that Jesus has a TV show.
Oh, aye.
And you're watching it, and you're just like, "Why is Jesus there?" Doesn't make sense at all.
Why is nobody freaking out about this?
Yeah, it was talking. They're talking about Stan. I think it's Stan's dog is gay, and they talk about it, and it's just doing stuff to dogs and stuff like that, and all kinds of things, right? So Stan's like, "Why's my dog gay?" or kind of stuff like that, and he's like, "I know, I'll just phone Jesus," and I genuinely forgot Jesus was in this. I'm like, "Why is he phoning Jesus?" And you see Jesus sitting in a chair, like kind of like afternoon chat show, and he phones up and he's like, "Jesus, my dog's gay," stuff like that. Like, what's your views on like basically like gay community? And Jesus is like, "I'm so glad someone's finally asked me. So now someone has asked me how I feel about the gay community," and it cuts, and it's like it's technical difficulties. And I thought that's fucking brilliant, because obviously you kind of want to know what does Jesus think of the gay community. But when they do it in South Park, they're just like, oh my god, that's brilliant. That's just genius. Do you know what's funny though? South Park are the guys who have all stuck to their guns and been like, who gives a shit? We'll say it. If we think it's funny, we'll say it. Like, they've never been like, oh, that's dated, that's too, we can't do that nowadays. They've just done what they want to do. They just, fuck it, cool. But yeah, it's funny though.
I've started rewatching The Walking Dead.
I think Dan started rewatching it. It was on Disney Plus. I was on Star on Disney Plus.
I kind of fell away from The Walking Dead the season after The Governor.
Oh, that's a long time ago.
Aye. Season 4, I think I made it to, or halfway through season 4. I thought it's when he came back with the eye patch and all that, and I was just like, okay. And then he killed Herschel. I know. And then, like, because I was reading the comics at the time, and I was like, I'm kind of falling away from it. And then I heard Negan was coming into it, and I really wanted to get back into it. But then I was like, I've missed so much. I was like, I'll wait till a wee bit further on, and then
Negan's good.
They're on. I think they're on the final season now, aren't they?
Yeah, season 11 now, so it's the beginning of the end.
I was like, fuck it, I'll start watching it again, and I've got through the first season. But even from the first season compared to the third season that I remember, like, there's a good bit of difference in it. Like, not even aesthetic wise, just like
the first season. The first season is so basic. It's 6 episodes. It's so basic. I got to season 10. I think I got to like halfway through season 9 and just kind of was like, I'd lost track. I don't know what it was. I think I watching other things. So really all I need to do is I got to the time jump. So there's a time jump now in season 9. Halfway through season 9 there's a time jump, and Rick's little like baby girl is now like 8-9 year old, something like that. So
is that in real life now?
Yeah, so in real time she probably would be. So I was like, enough. It was a lengthy time. It was like maybe like a 5-6 year time jump. Which is funny though, because literally a few weeks before that episode happened, I said to Stephen Dan, I think the best thing The Walking Dead needs to do after Rick being killed off, but really he's away fucking someone else now, is to do a time jump of like just jump to like another part, like a few years, because I always feel as though like when you look at everything's just like everything's still too normal. At times, everything's just too normal at times. So I'd love to do like a time jump and see like what happens in 5-10 year time when like the world has gone to shit. Like the only thing it's really went like different. The only thing is noticeable is the grass is longer. You're just like the grass is longer and that's literally it. And I'm like, I remember. Do you ever remember like at the beginning of The Walking Dead for the first few seasons, there was complaints that how's the grass still being cut? Because nothing had grown in.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Back then, we didn't realise what that would be like, but we've just went through a sort of quarantine, if you would put it. And we see
I know,
when
I
the
know.
council was look how bad the grass got then.
Oh no! That's what it was really funny as hell. 'Cause I was like, how
I
is
didn't
it?
realise how
That,
real these people actually were that were complaining. Like, we just
That's
thought it's something stupid, but it's a
I know.
genuine thing.
Because people back going back maybe 7-8 years ago when the Walking Dead was its third or fourth season, people are just like, how the fuck's the grass still cut? How are they all? Don't get me wrong, the clean shaven shit. I was like, how are they still clean shaved?
Aye.
It's like, yeah, you can get a razor, but you're so used to watching you're so used to watching post-apocalyptic things, and everyone's just full of beards and fucking all that kind of thing. It's similar to Mad Max, Mad Max Fury Road. Tom Hardy's too good looking to be he's nice haircut.
Aye.
Can I shut that? I thought myself, right, shaving your beard fair enough, but cutting your hair, you should be looking like shit. You shouldn't be looking good. So I always wondered how they all still look really good. But the grass is still pretty cool. And then people were making complaints, so they started to kind of just throw in CGI longer grass, because why not? But obviously now they've got to the point where the grass is long as hell now, obviously, fair enough. But yeah, that was another big kind of thing where people were just like, how is it that we've been in lockdown for 3 months and the grass is like a jungle? They've been in a zombie apocalypse for 15 fucking years, but the grass is still pretty decent. We are nearly done, don't worry, man, we're nearly done. But yeah, it's crazy how the council are just fuck it, I'm not cutting the grass. And they just leave the grass long for 9 months. They've been in a pop. The dog's made a cameo now. The dogs. Hello.
That's Spud. That's Rocky.
Spud and Rocky. Love it.
Well, his name's actually Bud, but he's deaf, so you can call him whatever you want.
Oh, prick.
That's one.
That's pretty good. Anyway, I've had fun. Matty, thank you for joining me. Like I said, it's been a random. I was going to say random movie chat, but it just became a random chat of nothing. But it is what it is. Everyone watching,
talked about Christians, talked about Scotland stuff, talked about
the grass.
So hopefully it's been a good escape for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say escape reality, but that's Aaron and Luke's thing. I can't really call it that. So yeah, thanks for everyone who joined us in the live chat below. Thanks for everyone who watched us, the 5 or 6 people who watched. I really appreciate it.
Right.
I've been Nathan Guy. That's been Luke of Who Cares Nerds. You can follow us over on our Twitters. What's your Twitter handle, Luke?
Luke.
Oh fuck! What's your Twitter handle, Matty?
It's at Matty Monsta on the Twitters. And also my podcast one is at Who Cares Nerds. So
and yeah. My Twitter handle is just Nathan Guy, but I think there's several F's in effing. I've lost track. I don't even know what the fuck. I've got EFFFFING guy somewhere. I've got EFFING guy somewhere, and I've got EFFFFFF. Blue Harvest Toys, love to be on a stream. Yeah, man, that's fine. Yeah, we'll get some chat going, and we'll just tweet me. I follow you anyway on Twitter, so just DM me when you're free. I try and keep it on a kind of a regular basis. There's been a few weeks obviously I've been busy there, but I'm going to try and keep it once a week and just get different guys on, like you, Matty, Luke and Aaron, Dan and Steve. They just like the live chat stuff. They're into the live chat. Because they always do, if we're going to be on a live stream together, we should just be on our podcast. I'm like, oh, that's fine, wankers. I love it too. My best friends. So yeah, Blue Harvest, I'll have you on at some point, man. We can talk about toys, because obviously you love toys, you love collecting things. I love collecting things as well. And Matty loves
everything.
Collecting posters.
I've got a whole 3 there. Right?
You get 3 posters. Wow. Well done, man. I've still to put up. I've got 20 or 30 posters at my mum and dad's house. I've still got to bring down. I say oh, they're so heavy. They're literally 8 doors up, but still, I'm just very lazy. I'm literally very lazy. But anyway, thank you everyone for watching.
That's fucked up the set.
Nearly smashed my bottle of Nando's hot sauce. Don't ask me why I've got a bottle of Nando's hot sauce.
I've got all the things.
I've also got this, it's funny, Kirsty got this from IKEA. and I've still got it the same way as I did.
I was half expecting you to pull out your Star Wars DVDs there.
No, they're in the back. They're the little Star Wars. They're there. My Star Wars shelf. And then down there's the 40th anniversary Pop Funkles of Empire Strikes Back. And that is a cut, guys. Ah, my fucking head. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.